Would I be the butthole if I changed my Wi-Fi password, making it impossible for a kid to not be able to attend her classes? Edit. To the people who have cross-posted this to r/AmItheAsshole and the people calling me racist because the name of the girl is Shania, let this be a PSA to you that not everyone on this site is American. We live in India. Shania is an Indian name. I am also Indian. I did not pick a black-sounding name to make this post sound racist or whatever nonsense people on r/AmItheAsshole are spewing and messaging me about. Surprise, surprise. People of other ethnicities, religions and nationalities exist. We have names that are not Christian or white-sounding. Not everyone in this world is John or Kristen or Michael or whatever. I don't care if you think this post is fake, but to assume that just because here is a name you are not familiar with you think I am bound to be racist, it makes you racist yourself. I live in a not-so-well-off area. I am not well-off by any means, but I have a Wi-Fi connection. My Wi-Fi has a 4-device limit. It's the cheapest plan they have. My neighbors have a 12-year-old daughter who has to attend online classes. I know her well because she comes over fairly often to hang out with my daughter as they are friends. Her name is Shania. Shania's parents told her they cannot afford Wi-Fi, so she asked me if she can use mine. I agreed, and said the only condition was that she has to study hella hard and do her best. She agreed and has been using it for a while. Over the past 2 months, I have been finding it hard to use my Wi-Fi. The web portal for the Wi-Fi says 4 devices are constantly connected to it when all I am using is my phone and my daughter is using her laptop. Sometimes, my daughter can't connect to her own classes and uses data. I asked Shania about it last week, and she said her parents forced her to tell them the password and that they have been using it. I went and spoke to her parents about it, and said that it is only for her to be able to attend classes. They said they will stop using it. But over the week, 4 times my daughter's classes got interrupted because there were multiple devices trying to use it. Yesterday, Shania told me that our other neighbors also have the password and are also using it, that her parents gave it to them. I went and warned her parents again, said I will change the password, but they made false promises again and shut their door. I changed the password and gave Shania the new one, but her parents forced it out of her again. My daughter's education needs to take priority, her classes are important. I can't let her education take a backseat, but if I change it again and not give Shania the password, her education will get affected. Would I be the butthole if I change the password and not tell Shania? NTA. How about letting Shania over during the day for class and manually putting in and erasing the password for her? If she doesn't know, then she can't tell. Winner winner, chicken dinner. Have her come over for a few minutes, put your password in so she can use it, but also can't be forced to tell her parents what the password is. Ops doing a kind thing for that girl. I'd hate to see it ruined for her because of her parents. Exactly. It hurts to see a powerless girl suffer for her parents' selfishness. This would be the sort of thing not only remembered, but also could potentially change a life. Knowing someone gives a damn is important for abused, neglected kids. Looking back at my own childhood, it was the 2 or 3 people who went out of their way to help me during my own abuse that have stuck with me into adulthood. I also attribute reaching adulthood to these same individuals, and the amount of gratitude I feel towards them is immeasurable. As someone who is in that situation and doesn't have even one individual, if I did this would change my life. Edit. Thanks everyone for all the support and kindness. Oh, kiddo. Hugs. It gets better. Please message me if you ever want to talk. K. Your name is amazing. That was me for the first 17 years of my life. At 42, finally I am a happy person. PM me if you need to talk. Hey man, things get better. Crafty thing to say, I know, it's pretty effing useless to hear, but I hope one day someone finds you and loves you for you, giving you what you need. Until then, hey, I see some offers here already for it, but I'll love to do a call or a chat session if you ever need someone to vent to. Simply sharing what is happening will help you. People do care. They care about a stranger they met on the internet, and want you to have a happy, fulfilled life. Love yourself, because you are worth love. You don't need a single person to validate that you have the right to a happy and fulfilled life. My neighbor let me come over most days after school and eventually started paying me to babysit. It was life-changing. The couple hours per day I had in a clean home with kind people gave me hope that I could live that life. Her death was a profound loss. I'm glad it worked out for you. Something tells me you're not really a jerk face. Yes, exactly. I'm in my mid-40s and can still tell you the names of the 5th and 6th grade teachers and the high school guidance counselor who went out of their way to make my life better for those 6 hours every day. When I graduated high school, in summer because I missed 2 months of classes due to being sick and in the hospital, that guidance counselor made sure she was there when I picked up my diploma. She was off for the summer, with what is still the biggest balloon bouquet I have ever seen in my life. While I was in the hospital for those couple of months, my chemistry teacher's wife was also hospitalized and on the same unit. That man brought me my work for his class every day and stayed to tutor and help me with the work if I needed it. Hated his class, but still believe he was the greatest science teacher in the history of education because he did that for me. I'm so glad they were there to offer you support and some kindness, especially during an extended hospital stay. Both of my people were also teachers, and all I can say is educators are not paid enough for all the good that they do. Yup. My mother was extremely abusive. We had friends of the family, and as an adult I found out the only reason they stayed friends with my mother for as long as they did was to try and help me and my sister. They did a lot of wonderful things for us growing up. Once we were out of the house, they cut contact with my mom. My sister and I are still in contact with them. I didn't know it at the time, but my mom's friend was dying and my mom used our address so her friend's daughter could go to my school. My mom cooked extra food so the girl could eat at our house and then take more home when she got picked up. I didn't get why my single mom who struggled to make ends meet was doing all of that. I assumed her friend was paying her, but nope. She just knew her friend didn't have the ability to do those things for her daughter anymore. And then my mom passed 4 years after her friend. So it created a special bond between us girls. This is usually how it happens. Poor people stay poor. She's carrying her parents' weight instead of getting success on her own, and it's holding her back. When I moved out at 20, I made it very clear I wasn't paying for anyone's anything or sacrificing myself for my mother or my sister. Now I make damn near $80K a year, my GF makes $70K a year, we live well, and while yes, Christmas and birthdays we give great gifts, I'm not paying my sister's tickets or buying my mom a car or anything crazy, and thankfully they don't expect me to. You don't have kids to support you. You support them however you can and hope they can get ahead. You don't have kids to support you. You support them however you can and hope they can get ahead. This memo needs to get out to so many people. But I thought you were only poor if you didn't have friends and that money didn't matter? Only rich people say that. I mean, it's not their fault if you think weird things. I can't remember the last time my laptop made me re-enter the Wi-Fi password. This is an excellent plan. Right? He should only have to type it in once and she'd be set. I wouldn't do this because the girl's parents could then take the computer from her so they could use it themselves, and she'd be left without a computer altogether. Op should look into services in his or her area. There might be something available to help low-income families with kids in school afford internet via lower costs or free service. I know it exists in some areas. The girl's parents should look into that service. It's their responsibility as her parents. However, original post would be kind if they did do this. Yes, but the topic is how can original post reconcile his altruism with his issues? Altruism, since you're clearly unfamiliar with the concept, is the belief in, or practice of selfless concern for the well-being of others. Such as his neighbor's daughter. It's pretty ironic that a person who's clearly an expert on altruism is acting like an italics-crazed jerk. Also, original post had one question, and it was specific: should he change the password? For real, what the F is with the attitude? This is exactly what I'm afraid of. Alternatively, she could let Shania use the Wi-Fi password, on the condition that she uses it only at Op's home. This way, original post knows for sure that she is attending her classes. If she is not coming, this means the parents got her laptop. Then original post should change the password again so that the laptop is useless for the parents. I wonder if there's a way to enable an MFA on the Wi-Fi. That way original post can accept/reject any device trying to get on the network. And I'm all seriousness, actively thinking obstructing your child's only means of accessing school should be grounds for being brought up on truancy charges. It would be one thing for the parents to claim to need internet for their own reasons, but there is literally no excuse for giving the password to the effing neighbors. Yay, it's called MAC IP filtering. I can disable any device I don't recognize by logging into my router and adding it to the block list. Most commercial routers and devices offer this service. If we knew ops models, some of us could likely walk them through it. A ton of internet providers are offering very low-cost Wi-Fi packages right now, exactly for these kinds of scenarios. And I work at a nonprofit, and we just got a grant to pay 100% of internet costs for eligible families for the next year. So these programs exist. Comcast/Xfinity has a plan for people who receive public assistance. It costs $10 a month. If you could afford a cable, maybe Ethernet. They'd be at Best Buy picking up an Ethernet switch in 5 minutes. And then her parents grab the laptop. So if you're logged into the Wi-Fi, and you're the admin/owner of the computer, you can view the Wi-Fi password. It's also fairly easy to share the Wi-Fi network with someone else once you're logged in. If they go the route of having the girl come over to their place for online learning, they need to log her in and out each time, without saving the password, in order to protect it. Or she could keep her computer at Op's house. If she doesn't have Wi-Fi outside of Op's house anyway, it probably wouldn't negatively impact the girl too much. She would likely need her laptop at home to do homework. Except for any needed research, writing essays usually requires no internet. I mean, depends on the subject. Also, if Op's daughter and her are friends, they could always do study sessions together to do homework and such. It might be a good way to get both of them to be more productive. Haha. Yeah, I don't know about that. I've used the net for every essay or paper I've written. If only to fact-check prior to presentation. This is a tricky one for Op. I'd hate to be in his shoes. I'm assuming the Wi-Fi works in her own house, otherwise how could her parents and also her neighbors be using it? Yes, but this entire comment thread is talking about having her come over, original post put in the Wi-Fi password, and then wiping the password when she leaves. That was the context I was using. Yes, I was going to say this. I have gone into my laptop to look up my own Wi-Fi password when I forgot what I'd changed it to. Her family could just get that info from her laptop and do the same thing all over again. Seeing if she can do her classes at Op's house might be a good solution. Otherwise, need to keep aware, and keep changing the password if it looks like it's got out again. I think on my Apple items it asks if I want the password saved, and if I click no, it's not saved. Also, we have enough issues getting good Wi-Fi within our own house, with a really good modem and router, so how his Wi-Fi gets to multiple homes is interesting. Oh, and NTA. What were these parents thinking when they not only used it themselves but also gave it to other people? Does your school district have any assistance for students without internet access? I assume original post lives in an apartment. Your house may very well be bigger than multiple apartments put together. It depends on what operating system you're using. Windows Vista and 7 would let you reveal the password, but Windows 10 does not. I don't think Mac OS ever has had the option, either. Regarding Chrome OS, I've no idea. Edit. According to user Falcon9thagire, Mac OS does let you retrieve it. Edit. I'm wholly wrong in my post. Turns out, I just wasn't looking in the right place on Windows 10. It's still possible to retrieve it, if you're an administrator. Reddit link. It does not hold the password where you can see it. It's worth a shot first though. I don't know how to do those things, and I bet other people don't know either. NTA, don't tell her the password and just put it in for her. Or set it to something not easily remembered. That way she can't be forced to tell them it since she doesn't know it. You're being kind for helping her when it's her parents' responsibility to provide schooling for her even in these hard times. It's not fair that they abuse your kindness and hurt your daughter's schooling. Especially since it also harms you and their own daughter. Edit. I'm also not sure if it's possible to maybe set up a one-time password? Maybe you could do that so the password only works for her device. Depending on the router, you can also create a list of approved MAC addresses. Just add your own devices and the girls'. This needs to be upvoted more. Did my part. This is the first thing I thought of, too. Compromise solution: change the password. Have Shania come to your home with her laptop. Connect her laptop to your Wi-Fi without letting her know what the password is. Then let her take the computer back home. She should be able to connect to your network no problem, and it would be pretty much impossible for her parents to extract your password info from her. The only caveat is that if she has an Apple device, Wi-Fi passwords can be shared over AirDrop without actually knowing what it is, as long as someone is signed in. This might be presumptuous, but if the family cannot afford Wi-Fi, chances are they cannot afford an Apple product for their kid, never mind have multiple Apple products. This is true, but lots of people were doing very well financially until the start of this year and are now struggling. I know several families using Apple products who are now struggling to put food on the table. Exactly. In 2011 I had a flagship smartphone I bought when times were good but then got hit hard and needed food stamps. It was uncomfortable to get stares from people in line. Just because someone has a luxury item doesn't mean they aren't struggling. ABC password, right? My high school was in the country with a bunch of rich farmer kids, so we had a lot of cool field trips that cost insane amounts to attend because a lot of the parents could afford to drop $1,000 or so at once to send their kids on them. I wanted to go to just one of the cheaper ones, and the school actually worked out a payment plan with me, which was amazing. However, the vice principal then saw me using my iPhone on a break and took me into her office to basically interrogate me on why I needed the payment plan if my parents could afford an iPhone. As if it's not possible to pay nothing upfront for a phone through a contract with the cheapest plan possible. Sorry you had to deal with that butthole VP as a child. Apple products also get passed down because they take a lot to kill. I knew college kids running 2011 to 2012 MacBook Airs in 2019. They have a strong second-hand market. I'm still running my 2013 Air in 2020, almost 2021. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.